Hello everyone. This is going to be the first video of my Build Your Own Shell YouTube series. And what we're going to do is we're basically building a shell terminal in Java from scratch. And we'll add support for commands like cd, pwd, echo, exit, and we will be able to run executables from this terminal. We will build a complete parser for this POSIX compliant shell terminal. It will support all the single quotes, double quotes, and backticks. And you can see all the list of features that are required of us to implement in this challenge. And let's just start building. Okay, so this is the page that you see when you start this challenge. Let's just read what's required of us. Welcome to Build Your Own Shell Challenge. A shell is a command CLI, and you'll build your own POSIX compliant shell that's capable of interpreting shell commands. So POSIX is this specification for a shell. It's kind of like it defines all the syntax and all the commands that you can enter to the shell terminal. Uh, if you want to learn how to write scripts in shell, you can read through this. Yeah, anyways. We'll be doing this in Java, and I'll be doing it every day. I'll pass. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is just set up the repository. Let me do that. Let me create a folder on my desktop. Okay, we're here. Let me open terminal here. Okay, so just copy these commands and paste it here. This will initiate your repository on CodeCrafters. Okay, so with this you are now good to go. You can start building. Anyways, this is they are now trying to test the code for the first test, and let's just read what's required. We can go to the file. So they have given us some code, right? We just cloned a repository, so let me just open that in IntelliJ. Give me a moment. So this is the code that they have given to us, and let's see, they have given us a main class. So you see there is this line of commented code. Just uncomment it. Open the terminal. Git push. See, that's what they're asking us to do. They are just asking us to uncomment this line, and that will pass the test for us. So in the beginning, they're telling us to consider anything that comes to this terminal as an invalid command. So we can read from the terminal using this scanner, right? But instead of doing that, what I'll do is I'll structure the code a bit. All right. So if we start solving these challenges, we'll just be writing the code in the main class, and that's not what I want to do. The main class will just initialize all the commands that my terminal is going to support. And instead of reading from the input like this, I will create a new package called the server. That is basically going to be the shell server that will be reading commands from the input console and processing them. All right. And instead of all this, give me a second. Yeah. Let's just go to the server, shell server. Yeah, in here I will create a new class called the shell server. Don't ask again, always add. All right. Like I told you, in the main class, I'm just going to be initializing an object for each command that we're supporting, right? Let me create another package called commands, and in here let me create an interface that will be common for all the commands. It's going to be an interface. All right, in the main class I will create a map, and let's just keep it from a string to a command, and that's it. And in here I want shell server dot start method that's going to start our server, and that server is going to support these commands. All right, so right now I do not have this start method. I'll create the start method, and in here I will continuously read input from the console. So while true, south dollar, and in here I'll create the object of scanner, and the string line is equal to scanner dot next line. And now I want like when we run this command, when we run this program, the user will send us commands, and those commands are just going to be strings initially, but we need a way to be able to parse them, right? So like I told you, we are going to write a parser, a POSIX compliant parser for all these commands. And so that to do that, let me create another package called parser, right? And in this parser, I'm going to have a class called the parsed command. So my parse command will have a string command, and it's going to have a list of string of arguments. Let me just call it args, right? And let me just make it public. I do not care. All right. And in here, I need a method static uh, sorry, static parse. But instead of parse, let me call it from input. All right. And it's just going to receive a string, and that's going to be, let's just call it line. So it's going to be the responsibility of this method to convert this line to a parsed command. Parsed command equal to parsed command dot from input, and let's just pass it the line. All right, and now I need to have a command handler, a class whose sole responsibility is to execute these commands. So let's just create another class called the command handler. And in my shell server, command handler dot handle, it will handle the command. All right, and I'm also going to pass it the commands that are supported currently. And let's just create this method. All right, so my main method is fine. All right, now let's read what's required of us. So for any input right now, we need to print command not found. Okay, so we are going to do that in the command handler. Command handler handle for every command. Right now, all we need to do is print command not supported, command dot command plus command not found. That's all we need to print right now to pass this. But we also need to implement something right here. So let's just see. A command, any line that we receive from the console will look something like this. Command and arg1 and arg2. And this is the simplest way it can look, but commands can also have quotes, like args can be surrounded in quotes, like so. So we'll need to add support for these as well. So our parser needs to handle quotes, double quotes, backslashes. But for right now, let's just imagine that our command looks something like this. And why is that? Because if you see right here, how they're going to test step one, I don't want to do that. What are they telling us to do? They're just telling us to print this no matter what. We don't even need to parse. Okay, so let's for now just return a new parse command, and next line input and whatever is it command. Okay, parse command res is equal to res dot command equals to line, and just return res, and in my command handler, yeah, this is more than enough to pass this. Maybe I'm over engineering, maybe it's not simple right now, but trust me, this structure that we have built is going to come a lot in handy going forward. Git add, git commit minus m. Let me increase the font size a bit. There's an error. What? Expected but received. Okay, so in the shell server, expected prompt but received. The hell is the issue? Your program invalid command. What the hell is the issue? I don't see the issue. They ran a program and the expected prompt, but they received this. But I am printing a space, aren't I? I am. Let's go back to main, and in here I'm calling the start method, and in here I'm printing system.println. So let me bring it out of the while loop for now. Because right now we are only handling one command. I think that is the issue. Let us see. Okay, so I think the issue is that I'm printing a new line. That's not required. So let me just undo as well. New line is not required. Okay, it passed the test. We can go forward. So this is basically the read eval print loop. So the thing they're requiring of us, we have already implemented. We need to prompt for and read commands and evaluate them in a loop, in an infinite loop. And I already added a while loop for that. Let's just see. It should be working fine, I think. Let's just wait. By the way, we should also do something. Debug. Sure, because I want in-depth verbose logs. So it passed. You move forward, the exit built in. Okay, so now comes the interesting part. In this stage, you'll implement the exit built-in command. The tester will execute a program like so. It will run the code. It will then send an invalid command to your shell, followed by the exit command. Command not found, and then an exit command, followed by a zero exit code, which basically means success. Code status 0. The tester will always pass in 0. Okay. So right here, I need an exit command class, right? That will encapsulate the logic of exiting exit command, and it needs to implement command. But we have nothing in our command interface right now. So, and we need things in that. We need a method, and we will need multiple methods. Let's just add one for now. Right now, all we need is an execute method. Execute method, and we need to pass it a parsed command because we need arguments, and that's going to be in the command. Okay, so let's come back to exit and implement. All right, exit command. So I hope you know what exit command is, and like, and you can exit with a different status code as well. Let me show you. WSL. I think I have already showed this in the coding vlog I uploaded to the YouTube channel, but oh well. Okay, so if I do exit, that also works. So exit command works even without the status code, and exit 0 also works, and WSL and exit 1. So exiting will exit the shell. So we need to handle all these test cases, right? All these different cases. That's what I'm want. That's what I'm trying to tell. Anyway, so in this class, okay, hmm, to make our Java code exit, all we need to do is write this line, and that will be the status code. So right now they're telling us that they're only going to pass 0, but in the future that may change. So we need a way to parse those arguments as well. Like if the arguments that are part of command are empty, in that case, uh, we simply exit with 0, and like if it's 1, then we exit with 1. So we need to parse the status code from arguments of this command. So I'll create another method for it. I'll call it check args, and I'll pass in the command to it. All right, and in here, let's just pass it the args. Control Z dot args. That's fine. And in here, the first thing I want to check is if args dot size equal to 0. If args dot size is 0, then we do want to exit from the program, but with the status code of 0. All right, and I need to return something from it that will take these two parameters with me. Like I want to I want to tell this method that you can exit the program with this status code. So I will create kind of a DTO. I'll create a static class and I'll call it status report. And it's nothing, it's just encapsulating these two values for me. So public boolean success and public int exit code, right? And if this is the case, let me create an object of status report, status report, status report, use status report. Okay, so the default value for status report is going to be false because yeah, status report dot exit code equal to 1. So this is, we are just handling the case where uh, like the command that's passed to us is invalid. In that case, we should not exit the command, right? We should not exit out of our program. The shell terminal should not exit. For example, WSL. So yeah, this is something that also we need to handle. If the argument is not numeric, in that case, we need to throw this error as well. That's why we have created this method. All right. So if the argument size is 0, in that case, we need to successfully exit out. So I'll just status code and status report dot success is equal to true. And from here, I can return the status report. And all right. Else if the size of this args is greater than 1, if that is the case, then I'm going to set exit code is equals to let me show you. When we go into WSL and I give it exit 1 comma 1 comma 2, so I've passed in 3 arguments. In that case, our shell does not exit. So that's what we need to handle. In that case, we just want to print out this error. Uh, what error? Exit too many arguments. Basically this. This is the error that we want to print to the terminal. And return status report. This default value will not let us exit. Now, right here, we just want to handle the case where I'm passing a non-numeric argument. So control will only come here if the number of arguments is 1. All right. And now I just want to check if it is numeric or not. Because if it's not, then we need to throw an error. So success is equals to, we are going to exit anyways from this, and string status is this, and instead of this I'll do get first. All right, and I will try to parse it into integer parse int, and I'll set it to status report dot exit code equal to this. So if this throws an error, in that case I need to print the error, whatever the error is, and the error is exit numeric argument. Instead of hi, we need to print uh, hmm, the argument itself, right? So that is status. Doesn't seem like the right name for the variable. Let's just call it arg and arg. All right, and Okay, so I have set the success to be true and I've set exit code. That's all we need to do in this catch block, and outside of this else I can return the status report anyway, sorry. And instead of this I can check, replace it with is empty or not. Okay, so this is my status report. Right here I can check if status report dot success. In that case we exit out with status report dot exit code, else we don't. All right, so now this is handling all the edge cases that I showed you right here. We can simply add, let me show you. Let's just go to the main class and try to run it. All right, so this is the dollar sign that we are printing. See, when we run a shell, we get a dollar sign. That's what this dollar sign is. And now I can type the different commands. If I type exit hi, command not found. Exit hi, command not found. Why? Oh, because in my command handler, I haven't registered it yet. So in my commands dot put, I can add this command of exit. At exit, a new exit command. And in my starts right here and in my handle command, right, I can, if commands dot contains key command dot command, if that is the case I will execute it, else I will print command not found. All right, makes sense. This is kind of like dependency injection but through a hash map. Anyways, exit hi, command not found. Still saying command not found. Why? So what if I do exit? Rx is null. Where? So, oh, in my parser I haven't parsed it yet. Ha ha ha. That's the issue. So right here what I can do is string parts split parts of 0 and now let's run it. Exit high, numeric. There should be a space here, I think so. Yeah, there should be. Where is it? Exit command. Right here. Let's run it again. Exit high. Numeric argument required. But why did it stop? In that case, do we stop? Exit high, yeah. We do log out. Okay, so multiple arguments, one, two, too many arguments, exit one, works like a charm. Okay, let's just try to run it on CodeCrafter's server. So going forward, we'll implement different commands, and as we create new classes for these commands, that is going to encapsulate the entire logic of the command. We will have to register that into our IOC container right here, and then all we need to do in our command handler is call the execute method. That's it. So yeah, the test passed. So the exit command is working fine. Next, what we're going to do is add support for this echo command. So stick around and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.